It's the Check a Pro radio show. What are the latest services, products, and techniques? The pros check in here. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Jim Klauck.
And back here on Check a Pro Radio, I just heard from Jerry, my producer, in my ear, and he says we've got 4 of these offers left. If you've just tuned into the program, the offers are awesome today here on Check a Pro Radio. Suncoast Power Solutions is joining me. I've got Brian here, and he is offering a free site inspection. The standby generator is something you really need for your home. I know you've been talking to your spouse about this. You've been considering it. Now is the time. Soon we are going to be getting more potential bad weather as we go into hurricane season. And by the way, for those of you who don't know when hurricane season is, if you're new to the Tampa area, new to Florida, it's really June through November. And so it's a long season, and it's something you really need to be prepared for, trust me. The phone number to call to get a free site inspection, no obligation, and to get a free mini generator is 813-437-9616. Again, 813-437-9616. Jerry says there's only 4 of these offers left. Before the break, I had mentioned that Gary wrote in to joe@checkapro.com. That's Joe, Joe, at checkapro.com. And he has a question for Brian, and that question is natural gas or propane better for a whole home generator in our area, and does it matter where I live in terms of fuel availability? What's the answer to that?
Yes, it does. Great question, by the way. So natural gas, for those who don't know, is a utility, meaning the lines are underground. They're permanent. They're installed by the utility company. Some of us are fortunate to have it. Some of us are not so fortunate. If you have a natural gas meter at your house, then obviously you've got natural gas. And in my area, there's Clearwater Gas, there's Tico People's Gas. Those are really the 2 main players around here. Now, if you do not have natural gas from the utility, then the other option is propane. You can simple internet search and to People's Gas or Clearwater Gas, you can type in your zip code and they'll tell you if you have gas in your area or not. But in most cases, if it's not on your street, it's difficult to obtain. It's sometimes not feasible. Where a propane tank it's bottled. So you can put these tanks above ground or you can put them below ground. And the tanks range in sizes, anywhere from, little 80 gallons, which we don't recommend for a generator, because if you're doing this, let's be covered. Popular size tank that we sell is 250, 500 gallons. And some of our preppers, if you will, have 1,000-gallon tanks in their yard. And, you are limited to the size of your fuel tank. Now, I would say if there's a negative to propane, it's that it is bottled. So guess what? We monitor those as well. So if you have a propane tank, you're going to want to monitor that because your generator is only as good as the fuel service that provides it. So I always say it's a very expensive paperweight if it doesn't have a fuel source. So either obtain and purchase a large tank or simply monitor it. That way you can, know that it's being watched by someone who has the means to fill that tank. And, if you don't monitor the generator, then that's, to me, it seems somewhat short-sighted. I can't stress the monitoring enough, especially on the propane side of things, because they're going to come fill that tank when it gets to a certain level. And once again, that's the peace of mind that we shoot for.
So is the monitoring of the generator and of the fuel source, in this case, propane, optional?
It is optional. It is optional. We don't like to think of it as optional because, we're in the business of customer service, and I can't see your generator, unless you make a bed for me and you want me moving in with you. I'm not going to be there to monitor your generator. So we have to trust the technology to do that. So these monitors are optional, but very, very easy on the wallet. I think most of our monitors are about $100 a year, and because you're buying a cell phone essentially, right? It's a cellular subscription that you have to purchase, and that's what it does. But my customers who have it love it, and once you actually give it to you for free for the first year as well. I forgot to mention that. So the first year subscription is no charges included with the generator, and then after that there is a subscription fee. It's a trial period essentially. So we want you to see the benefits of it.
Yeah, so you really can't lose. The first year is free if you don't feel you need it, which I would suggest you have it. But if you don't feel so, you don't have to subscribe to it after that for the nominal cost. My security system in my home uses cell technology, and I understand how that works. That way, if something happens, they can't cut the phone line, right? So it goes through the air to the security company. And I think a lot of monitoring is done that way with HVAC, with alarm systems and generators.
It is, exactly, and, the cell towers, they all have generators as well, so they're, that's you mentioned through the airwaves. Those cell towers, there's a reason they have generators, right? They have an obligation to their subscribers, so we put the generators and we service a few of those cell towers as well, and, hey, they trust us, so why shouldn't you?
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about EV cars. For a while, they were very, very popular, a lot of incentives. People were talking about them. There's some talk now about, a lot of people want to go back to a gasoline type car, but EV cars are probably not going anywhere and they're probably going to continue to become more popular. They use up quite a bit of power. If you have two EV charging stations in your garage, one for each car, you need to somehow have power for that. So when your power goes out, you're not going to be able to drive your vehicle for long if you can't charge it, right?
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. Most of the chargers that we see, and this is the most popular size, is a 40 amp charger. That's just what we see the most of. But I've run into 100 amp chargers as well. Goes back to the first question of what size generator do I need for my house? What size charger do you have in your house? Is it a 40 amp or a 100 amp? So, we need to size the generator appropriately. If you tell me it's a must that you don't have an internal combustion engine, that you rely on your electric vehicle for transportation to get from point A to point B, then we're going to confirm that you have a generator that's large enough to run that vehicle charger for any length of time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, I'm going to give out your phone number again, Brian. Here it is, 813-437-9616. Call to get a free site inspection from a qualified site engineer from Suncoast Power Solutions and get a free mini portable generator. There's only 3 of these left, these offers. You got to call right now, 813-437-9616. There's no catch here. It is a no obligation phone call. Put your credit card back in your wallet. Put your checkbook back in the junk drawer. You don't have to pay anything. No cash either. No cash accepted. Call now, 813-437-9616. Okay, you guys are listening out there and you're writing into joe@checkapro.com. Linda wrote in, how far from my house does a whole home generator need to be installed? And are there any permits or HOA rules I should know about before buying one?
Yes, Jim. So, Linda, again, many variables that have to be taken into consideration. However, most generators that are designed for homes can be placed as close as 18 inches from your residence. Now, we have to take some certain things into consideration. Generator is a combustion engine, like we discussed. So it produces harmful gases when it runs. No big deal, but we need to make sure that you have fresh air intake into your house. The exhaust is pointed away from your fresh air intakes. By code, it has to be 5 feet from any openings to the house. That's an operable window, an operable door, even like say a dryer vent where harmful gases could enter the house. You need to be 5 feet away from that. And that's why we have to obtain a permit. We're really good at what we do. However, we do also require oversight from local municipalities. Now, to the flip side of that, if you lived on, say, acreage and you said, "Oh, this generator makes a little bit of noise," you went with the air-cooled product instead of the liquid-cooled product, which is much quieter. You wanted to save some bucks. You wanted to put this generator 300 feet away from your house, you could do that. Obviously, the cost does increase, but, you're only held up by the amount that you're willing to spend.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, the HOA always seems to have something to say, but you guys work around that and you're used to that. It's like putting in a swimming pool, right? It's a project. Yes, we can get it done and we know what we're doing because it's what we do on a regular basis here at Suncoast Power Solutions. 813-437 9616. Call now, get your free site inspection from a qualified site engineer from Suncoast Power Solutions, Brian's company, and you're also going to get a free mini portable generator. This thing is awesome, but there's only 2 of these left. Jerry's keeping me up to speed. 2, and the show's not over. This has a solar panel on this mini generator to charge the battery, and that'll charge your mobile phone and other devices. It's got a flashlight built into it, AM/FM radio with weather band. It's got a hand crank for you to hand crank it if it does not have battery powered left in it, because it will wear out at some point, and then you charge it up again when the sun comes out. And it's totally portable. This is great for your home. It's great for your truck. It's great for your car. It is great for a vacation home and boat. You can go down the list of what it's great for. But you've got to call now. Only 2 left. 813-437-9616. Again, 813-437-9616. More of your questions and more information about a generator for your home coming up next, right here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. Stand by.
If you want to get a home improvement project done, but you don't know who to call, I can help. This is Dave Ramsey. Don't call. Log on to checkapro.com.
Jim Klauck, a.k.a. Checka Pro Joe here. Hey, Tampa, when your power goes out, everything stops. Your lights, your AC, your refrigerator, your security. And here in Florida, it's not if the power goes out, it's when. That's why Suncoast Power Solutions is offering a limited time savings of $1,500 on a brand new standby generator for your home. For as little as $179 per month, choose from the most trusted names in backup power, Generac and Kohler. Professionally installed by local experts who understand Florida power outages since 1976. And right now, when you call during today's radio show, you'll also receive a no-obligation site inspection plus a free mini generator to help you through your next power outage. No pressure, no risk, just real protection for your home and family. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Call Suncoast Power Solutions now at 813-437-9616. That's 813-437-9616. Now, only 10 of my listeners will get this deal today. Call now, 813-437-9616. Be prepared and stay powered with Suncoast Power Solutions.
Do you have a question for Checka Pro Joe? Email Joe at joe@checkapro.com.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show.
Get in on the free offers today. I love doing this on the radio. It's just not a home improvement radio show, but I get to help you get empowered with your own power source, your own generator, and you're going to get a mini portable generator today free. If you're the next 2 callers, there's only 2 of these left. You've got to call right now to get your mini portable generator and to get a free site inspection from Suncoast Power Solutions. 813-437-9616 is the number. 813-437-9616. So there is a lot here. It's not just the free mini portable generator. It's also the fact that you guys have some other offers. The free site inspection is worth a lot of money because even if you don't know what you want or what you need, you're going to find out for free when Brian and his team come out. Also, there's a $1,500 off offer for any new generator from Suncoast Power Solutions as well. That's one more thing we really haven't talked about. We've talked about it in the past. I believe you guys are still offering that, Brian, and that's another incentive to act now.
Well, it was supposed to be 500. 1,500 was the January
through
March special. But, since we've said it, what the heck? We'll extend it another month. And yeah, let's go ahead. Let's extend that offer, $1,500. So now you get the $1,500 off. You get the extended warranty from the vendor, and you get the free mini generator, and you can finance it if you want, what you'd like, as well as the free professional experience. So what else can I give, Jim?
I don't know. That is a whole heck of a lot. It's huge. So not many of these left, only a couple left. They're going to go by the end of the show. There is no obligation. I keep saying that. You don't have to pay for anything. If you decide you don't want to have the peace of mind and the safety of a generator after Brian and his team come out, that's fine. You're going to be left with a gift. It's a portable mini generator. So that's great. Just call 813-437-9616. We talked about grid failures. We talked about storms and hurricanes. We've talked about data centers. We have talked about EV cars. Let's talk a little bit about food and refrigerators. This always seems to be the big thing. So we hear, you know what, when the power went out for 2 days, we lost all of our food in our 3 refrigerators, and that was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That's kind of like the simple thing we hear about all the time is the food loss.
Oh, yes, hundreds of dollars. Man, I had a customer not too long ago. Poor guy. He had just bought a half cow and he had lost all that meat. I felt so bad for him. I think a half cow goes for somewhere around $2,000, or maybe it was a quarter cow. But obviously, quite the carnivore he was. But yeah, he ended up losing it. He was out of power for 8 days, and that was all it took for him. That's how I had why I listened to the story, is he was telling me why he wanted the generator. But as far as a load concerned, it's a kind of a misconception. Refrigerators don't draw a lot of power unless you have multiple of them in the residence. So if you're just looking to power, refrigeration and some ceiling fans, we have what we call a dedicated circuit or a dedicated emergency panel option, which is a smaller generator, not designed to run the ACs, not designed to run the electric ovens or the electric dryers, but you can put the smaller appliances on there: refrigerators, fans, microwaves, ceiling lighting, can lighting, lamps, garage door openers. That's something that people don't think about sometimes, especially the elderly. If they have power and if you don't have power, excuse me, and you park your car in the garage, and you need to get out to evacuate, how are you going to be able to lift that garage door? Not all of us are capable enough to do that. So it's something that we have to think about. So yeah, the garage door opener, definitely a must. I always put them on the system.
Absolutely. We don't really think about it until the power is out. How quiet it is. It gets quiet. There's no hum of the fridge anymore. Certainly not that noisy garage door. It is quiet, and you're like, I didn't really realize how much I depend upon stuff. Have you ever been in a house before you got a generator, when the power goes out and you walk into a room and flip the switch? You knew ahead of time it wasn't going on, but you keep forgetting. It's natural, right? You flip the switch. Oh, I'll watch TV. Wait, there's no power. Oh,
Muscle memory.
yep, exactly. I'll go out, and so I'll get in my car, but the garage door doesn't open. And so all these little things that you want to do don't happen because the power's out. We take so much for granted, and I think you should really consider getting your own power supply. You should be able to power yourself through a standby generator. Here is the number. The show is drawing to a close. This is the last opportunity, so call right now, 813-437-9616, 813-437-9616. Get your free mini portable generator right now. Dennis writes in at joe@checkapro.com, if we lose power for several days during a hurricane, how long can a whole home generator realistically keep running, and what can knock it offline?
Good. Another great question. So obviously, running or depleting your fuel source would be the number one thing, and of course, that would only happen if you're on propane. Natural gas just keeps flowing unless you didn't pay your bill. So that's a you problem, unfortunately. Now, back to the question. It does depend on the unit, because we do have 2 types of generators, 3 if you count diesel, but diesel's not very prevalent in the residential market. So you have the air-cooled generators, which is a smaller, more compact, more cost-effective generator, and then you have the liquid-cooled, which is a larger unit, and it does hold a heavier price tag, but it has a car engine in it. It's a radiator, which that radiator is designed to keep the engine cool. Because it keeps the engine cool, that engine is designed to run for long periods of time, weeks on end if need be. Where the air-cooled product, the smaller units, you see typically 20, 22 kW, 26 kW, they cool themselves by air blowing over an engine block, and they burn oil excessively. So What happens when this thing runs for 2 days or so and it burns enough oil trying to lubricate itself? It triggers a low oil sensor to shut the engine down. Now, when it shuts the engine down, lights go back out again. So the owner's manual walks you through all this. We walk you through it. We hope it's nothing that you'll ever have to do. However, if you ever need to get oil or put some oil in the machine, we'll leave you with some extra quarts of oil just so you're prepared in that rare instance that maybe we can't get to you if the catastrophe was worse than we would like it to be. Because that's the other thing, Jim. You can't always rely on us if we can't get to you. Trees are down, electric poles are down. We'd love to help you. We're operating. If we're just talking about storms, we're operating the next day once that storm passes through. But can we get to you is always the tough question.
No, absolutely. Would you say that you sell more air or liquid cooled units?
We sell more air cooled just because of the cost. The liquid cooled generators are more costly, but they are the top of the line units, and they do take up more space as well. So, not some people, if they live in a production type home, they can't always fit the larger generators. But look, 85% of our customers probably have the air cooled product, and it serves a need. And we've had plenty of good testimonials from those customers, and when they've had their power outages for days on end.
Brian, would it be safe to say that when the power goes out, it's not going out for 2 days and 2 weeks for the most part? When we have these outages, right, they go out for 5 hours, 30 minutes, maybe half a day. So the air cooled picks that up easy, right? That's not a problem. It's if we want to run it for a week, that's when you could have a problem with air cooled, but it'll shut down on its own before it damages itself if it needs to.
It will, and not everybody heeds the advice of the owner's manual. It kind of really just depends. If you have a generator, I had one customer who had the generator on the side of his house. It was 13 feet in the air, and he just said, he had a little bit of coin. He just said, "The hell with it. I'm just going to let it run." And it ran for 6 days straight. He never turned it off and never added oil to it. Now, we don't recommend that. We recommend at least turning the generator off every once in a while, checking the fluids, adding if necessary. But the fact that he did that tells you about the product that we sell here and we install and we service. That's a long time to run your generator. I mean, that's 5, 6, 24 hours a day nonstop. You wouldn't do that with your car, right? But the generators, they are built to last.
Absolutely. Okay, here's the phone number. Call now, get your free site inspection from a qualified site engineer, and get your free portable mini generator. 813-437-9616. Again, the phone number, 813-437-9616. 813-437-9616. Okay, so we covered data centers, EV cars, grid failures, the storms and hurricanes we get in the Tampa Bay area. We covered a lot of questions today from you who are listening. I appreciate that. Brian, before we go, anything else that you want to get across to our listeners today about generators?
We always do such a good job, and I thank you, Jim, for covering, and I thank the listeners and those who call in, because these are questions that I don't always think to ask. So I think within, what are we on, our fourth or fifth segment now? We've covered just about everything that I can think of, but you never know. Maybe next week or next month we'll have another customer question that I didn't think to ask. So we'll rely on them.
Thank you again, Brian. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time, everybody, right here on Checka Pro Radio. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Checka Pro Radio Show. For more information on how to select the right contractor for your project, visit our website, checkaproradioshow.com. Join us again next week at the same time.
Jim Klauck, a.k.a. Checka Pro Joe here. Hey, Tampa, when your power goes out, everything stops. Your lights, your AC, your refrigerator, your security. And here in Florida, it's not if the power goes out, it's when. That's why Suncoast Power Solutions is offering a limited time savings of $1,500 on a brand new standby generator for your home. For as little as $179 per month, choose from the most trusted names in backup power, Generac and Kohler. Professionally installed by local experts who understand Florida power outages since 1976. And right now, when you call during today's radio show, you'll also receive a no-obligation site inspection plus a free mini generator to help you through your next power outage. No pressure, no risk, just real protection for your home and family. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Call Suncoast Power Solutions now at 813-437-9616. That's 813-437-9616. Now, only 10 of my listeners will get this deal today. Call now, 813-437-9616. Be prepared and stay powered with Suncoast Power Solutions.